Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, Sam and Jonathan. So first of all, congratulations. The show, Humans, really great stuff. You guys have been killing it in the UK. Now AMC is bringing it to the States. I watched the first 2 episodes. I was telling you guys, really enjoyed it. Talk to me about just putting this thing together, because I think we get a very human look into how AI, artificial intelligence, can influence human life. I love it. Talk to me all about it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the point. You know, this is well-trodden territory in many ways. We're quite used to stories about robots and AI, but the original Swedish show on which this is based kind of had the unique brainwave of coming at it from this domestic viewpoint, from putting it in a family, and putting it in our everyday lives, not setting it in the future, and really kind of getting into the human and emotional aspect of how we share our lives with machines. And there's so many parallels with how we share our lives with the technology, the real life technology that we have today, that we just thought it was a wonderful opportunity to adapt it and build on it and take things in a slightly different direction, and hopefully that's what we've done.
One of the things I love is we see with these synths how when they're put into environments, people really love them and they can develop these emotional attachments. And one of the things I was talking about with Tom and Catherine was that in some ways it's completely replicating and dismissing human interaction at this point. Talk to me about that dynamic, because I think it's happening now. I mean, I don't get off my phone. I don't talk to people anymore. We get to really see that in this show.
Absolutely, and I think that's exemplified in the Hawkins family at the heart of the show. They all react in a very different way to Anita when she's brought into the heart of the family home. You know, Joe thinks it's going to be sort of a panacea for his relationship. The eldest daughter, Mattie, she thinks that her future is being damaged by the introduction of these machines. Toby's lusting after Anita, and Sophie doesn't see any difference between her and a human, because she's been brought up with these things. She has only ever known these things. She's been alive for their existence as much as they have been for her. So,
but we also want to show the positive side, because we have George, the William Hurt character. His feelings for his synth, it's quite positive, because his synth, although it's kind of decrepit and obsolete, it serves as a kind of repository for all of his happy memories of his late wife. And so we kind of wanted to find ways to really show how this technology could work with us as well. Maybe it could enhance our humanity. We always wanted to try and be quite balanced. If we were showing something very dark and rather negative effect of it, we wanted to try and find a way to show how maybe it would help us as well.
I'd mentioned the top. There's a very human aspect to the show, and I was talking to Tom and Catherine about, I'm like, oh, is this going to be another robot show? And then I watch this thing, and it's so much more than that. It's really about human interaction, about friendship, about love, about family. Talk to me about how you guys as writers were trying and successfully were able to get away from, hey, this is just another AI robot show, to what you were able to create with this show.
Yeah, well, as you rightly point out, we were never interested in doing, the robots are going to rise up and kill us. It's not that show. It's taking a very sort of 360-degree look at the whole world, one in which these things might exist, looking at all aspects, and that's what really attracted us, to doing the show in the first place.
When you're adapting a show from another successful show, do you pretty much use the blueprint of the former show and adapt it to your new show, or do you have to create your own identity in what you're doing as writers?
You kind of have to create your own identity and sort of trick yourself into thinking it's your own thing, because otherwise you're never going to be able to bring what you've got to it, and meld the best of you with the best of the property. And so the way that we approached it was we watched the whole Swedish original through twice, the first season, and we really kind of absorbed it, and we tried to let it get into our DNA, and then we never went back to it. And then we just kind of went and wrote ours, and we never returned to that at the earliest place. So I think if you compared our first episode to their first episode, you see a lot of similarities, and you'd recognise a lot of scenes and moments and characters. Most of the characters you can trace to their counterparts in the original. But by the end of the series, it's totally different. And there are a few kind of things that are very different in the first one. The character of Niska, her story is completely different in ours. We came up with that. But other things are very, very similar. There's a twist at the end of episode 2, which we took straight from the original. But yeah, by the end, everything's in quite a different place. So it's just a quite organic process. As soon as you take a little step off the path, and you keep walking half an hour, you can't even see the path. It just kind of happens quite naturally.
This cast really nails it. Williams, I was saying to Tom Keller, I mean, he's an out of his mind great actor. Like, it's insane how good he is. Bringing this cast to take your words and bring them to life. It's pretty cool to see that, I'm assuming, right? It's like, okay, they kind of did it okay.
It's phenomenal. We've been so lucky with all our cast. They're absolutely wonderful. Right through from our Oscar winner William Hurt right down to Pixie Davis, who plays the youngest daughter Sophie in the family. They're all absolutely superb, and it was so great when we first started watching them, watching the rushes back of their first few days of filming, seeing how they were sort of bringing more to the characters that we'd written. And we sort of watched that and then fed that back into what we were writing as the show went on. So it was a really sort of evolving organic process. It's great.